Bangladesh has the highest population density in the world. Half are without adequate sanitation. They use rivers and fields as their toilet. As a result, their environment is fouled. Cows and chickens quickly spread feces around. It enters the food chain, and the resulting diarrheal diseases, according to WaterAid, kill 125,000 children under the age of 5 every year.
In 1 year, 140 people died in this village from diarrhea. We saw it with our own eyes. They all died within 15 to 20 days. And people who used to dig the graves, they had their lunch beside the graves because they didn't have time to go home.
But a remarkable change is taking place. Kamal Kar is helping communities install hygienic sanitation equipment. But he's not doing this by giving away free or subsidized toilets. Instead, he is encouraging people to fix their own sanitation problems. Kamal is doing this through a carefully planned awareness-raising exercise called Community-Led Total Sanitation, or CLTS. In a country where almost half the population lives below the poverty line, can this radical approach really work?
In CLTS approach, the solutions are not imposed from outside, they are not prescribed from outside, and the community is not told what to do and what not to do. It's the other way. The community is empowered and the solutions are emerging from within.
These floodplains are amongst the most fertile lands on Earth. Rice has become the dominant crop. However, the reason for the land's fertility is also a major threat to the people who live and farm here. Incredibly, for up to 6 months each year, the land is covered by water. And with the water comes an increased threat of diseases such as cholera from poor sanitation.
So, what they are saying that this place, where they are standing, the water, it remains inundated for 5 months, and this goes under 15 feet deep water.
With so much water flooding the land, the farmers build their houses on earthen mounds. These mounds form small islands during the monsoon floods. Kamal is arriving in Shibpur village.
The Moranjan is saying that during monsoon you don't see anything. You see water and water and water, and it looks like an ocean.
These pictures taken 3 years ago show how Shibpur village looked during the monsoon floods. With so little land available, houses are packed tightly together. Diseases related to poor hygiene are common.
The houses are so closed, and so congested. Imagine this used to be their main road. Very narrow, extremely narrow lanes, and people used to sort of defecate in the open and without toilet, living in this kind of conditions with open defecation. One can easily imagine what is the condition here.
The elders used to defecate openly over here and over there. It was all covered with feces. We couldn't walk anywhere.
Shibpur village is now free from open defecation.
The villagers of Shibpur, they have even put up a signboard saying that nobody defecates in this village in the open.
But the question is, how did this happen? To find out, Kamal took us to Jagannathpur, a village in the north of Bangladesh. His team are workers from CARE, an aid organisation.
We have now arrived in Jagannathpur village, and open defecation is rampant in this village, and we are going to trigger community-led total sanitation in this village with the community.
On entering the village, Kamal walks through a bamboo grove.
You see, These are the places, where generally people come to defecate in the open. Look at this place, it's all smeared with feces. And if you look at that, this is probably done just a couple of hours before. It's all entire area. It's terrific, it's stinking, and that's how the whole disease spreads.
Motivating the villagers to do something about this for themselves is what CLTS is all about. First, Kamal asks the villagers to gather together for a general meeting. Community-led total sanitation, or CLTS, begins by communicating ideas in a visual way.
I requested them if you could draw a boundary map of your village. Use these colored powders, to indicate the boundary of the village and the main roads, So lots of people came and the women came. There was a kind of a pandemonium, and it was a chaos, Then we had the small pieces of papers and I showed them those cards. I said, look, this is a house. Just pick up one card and put it exactly where your house was. The first question I asked them, how many of you defecated in the open today in the morning? There was a big laughter and kind of thing. Some raised hand and some were hesitating. But then I asked them, okay, where do you go to defecate? So there was a huge laughter, but people started coming in, and everyone almost, they came and they picked up some yellow powder and put it. As a result, within no time, the main roads of the village and sub-roads, they were dotted with drops of yellow powder. Then after this, I asked them, okay, suppose, you are having a stomach problem, you're running a diarrhea, it's the middle of the night, it's raining. Would you walk up to such a thing long distance? In an emergency situation, where would you defecate? They said, I go behind your house and you come to behind my house. And then I said, okay, pick up that powder and put it where you do your emergency defecation. Then the whole map, everywhere the map was full of heaps of yellow powders.
Kamal then asks the villagers to calculate the amount of feces they produce per day.
The final thing came up to 211 kilogram per day, and that was written on a big chart.
The team then show how easily people and livestock spread feces around the village, even inside people's homes.
And then after that, there was the discussion that, if this is coming back to your home and is there any impact on your health? Then there was a big uproar. They said, yes, it is. I mean, it's all bad impact, and diarrhea and cholera. Those names of those diseases were written up.
At this point, Kamal stuns the audience. He asks if he can take a photo of any villagers who are happy to eat another's feces. The aim is to shame the villagers into action.
It was very fast moving towards the ignition moment.
The ignition moment is the point where the link between open defecation and waterborne diseases such as cholera sinks in. The moment where the first villager walks forward to say he or she will build a toilet.
Immediately after CLTS is triggered, the children, they continue with great excitement, they continue the slogan and processions, all around the village in the morning and the evening, until the village becomes open defecation free. The whole thing, it's a fun, but through the fun, people realize and start unpacking, exploring the reality of their life. The most important thing in CLTS is that outsiders are definitely not asking the community to stop open defecation or change their hygiene behavior practice. Just empowering them and helping them to analyze their own sanitation profile and sanitation situation. Everyone is a human being, and no one wants to live in a filthy and dirty and filthy condition.
Kamal and his team plan to return to Jagannathpura to find out what impact the CLTS presentation has made.